Hello and welcome to episode 14 of the AG podcast.
Echo test.
Echo test is good. Echo test is good.
All systems go. Hello, everybody.
Hello, how are you, Steve?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm doing fine. And yourself?
I'm grand. I'm very good, thanks.
That's all good.
So this episode we're going to cover the final standings of season 23, all the leagues.
All the winners and all the many losers.
Yep. We have got both 360 and Xbox One leagues to cover. We also have the finale of the Fantasy leagues to cover. And also the May monthly tournament which has started. So plenty to get through.
And of course playoffs for all the leagues. So still a few things to be decided. And
also we have coverage of Forza.
Oh, is it?
And I think that's it, AG wise. And you're echoing, so that echo test lasted long.
Oh, is it still there?
Not now, it's not.
Okay, maybe tell me when I'm silent. I'm just going to have to constantly keep talking or humming in the background. Right, the duration of the podcast.
So that's it, AG wise, and then obviously we turn to real life where we got coverage of the Barclays Premier League. 3 games left to go, so title race is heating up, aka, well, the title race is pretty much decided now after last night. But
let's not do a disservice to Villa and West Ham. But,
I'm just saying that on paper it looks pretty much summed up.
Yes.
And then we also have films and TV, and then finally we'll see what else is left to cover. And then we'll probably ramble for like 30 minutes after the finish anyways. Like we always do. So, season 23, Club League 1, a very tight finish with Aaron nicking the title by a point off Dan. So,
and yet another trophy to add to the already bulging cabinet. Maybe he's made extra cabinets for all them trophies.
He's probably borrowed Arsenal's cabinet.
Yeah. It's pretty bare.
Yeah.
You just have to hide that.
I thought I might as well, my team, why not?
Yeah. Just have to hide that FA Cup somewhere in the back, should you get it.
Well, I don't know. We'll cover that later. But yeah, I think they played in the second to last games. Pardon me. And I think Dan got good results that basically needed Aaron to win both games to win the title, which he did. So I think that's why Aaron won it by a point. Looking down in the table, we got myself third. I'm quite pleased with the third, considering I was seventh at one point. So I've pulled it out there.
Well clear of the relegation zone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Rolton and Toz are both on 29 points. I was Spurs on 27. The relegation playoff sees Worm face Storm. I'm going to check see that's played. And automatically relegated are Tozza Jr. and Rex.
Hard luck, guys. Might see you back after next season if you sign up for the club leagues again.
Relegation playoff Storm versus Worm.
Well, you're having a look at that. Just looking at people's goal difference. So Dan might be kind of disappointed. He only conceded 13 goals in his 18 matches. And he scored the same amount of Aaron, so he had a goal difference of 34. So great effort, but he obviously had a few kind of 1-1 draws or 0-0s or something along the way.
It has been decided, and the winner was Worm, so Storm is going down with Tozza and Rex.
Good job, Worm. Commiserations, Storm.
So yeah, well done, lads. As you were saying on goal difference. Or you're not going to continue on goal difference?
No, it was mainly Dan's. Dan's was the one that stood out. He's well clear of yourself and Aaron. But yeah, he only conceded 13 goals throughout the entire season, so some good defensive work. But he obviously wasn't just defensive because he scored as many as Aaron did. So that can probably seg you nicely into the Golden Boot.
Yeah. The Golden Boot has gone to Aaron, with Reddington them getting 16 goals. Second place was shared with Andres Rios Raul Jimenez and Jermaine Dennis, all on 14. Wilson Jimenez for Dan and Dennis for Spurs. I was joint 5th and 7th, my 2 high scores of Jay Rodriguez and Ricky Lambert. Shared 5th place with Bolso, who had Freddie Montero. So I relied a lot on Lambert and Rodriguez, to be fair, to grab the goals, because they're like the main 2 scores.
Not Lallana, no. Not so much with the shoe.
He got a few goals, but even Ramirez, both, got a goal.
Creators.
But yeah, them all, fit in the box and hopefully get someone set on it.
So Aaron takes a clean sweep of league trophies there. So a golden boot and the division title.
I'm sure he'll be pleased with that.
Very much so.
So Club League 2 season 23, Rubiash wins Club League 2 by a clear 9 points.
Congratulations! Is this his first Club League?
I think so. So congrats on your first Club League, Rubiash.
Not easy to come up against all these seasoned veterans like Dazzler and Big B and Rochi down there.
Yeah, Big B finishes 2nd, so congrats to Big B getting automatically promoted and back into Club League 1 next season. Bounce back ability for the win.
Fake words for the win.
That's not a fake word, it's used all the time in relegation terms.
Just add ability at the end of things, like this game has tons of replayability.
Of course, see, you know what I'm about. The playoff saw Dazzler face Toonkev and Macadam face Tans, and both Kev and Tans won their games, but they've yet to play the final. So we are waiting on who will be joining us in Club League 1. It'll be played tonight, so we'll be notified.
Kevin Tans actually finished in the bottom 2 positions of the playoffs. So, and Dazzler only missed out on automatic promotion by goal difference. It was really close all over. Hello World and Rochi missed out on playoff by goal difference. So quite a sizable goal difference, but 3 teams there on 19 points, 2 on 35. So a really close league all around.
Yeah, it seems to be people fighting for positions all over the table.
Yeah, even Wiggsy is far down as 9th, was only 2 points off playoff. So whoever's entering that division next season, they're not going to have an easy time of it.
Such as yourself.
Such as me. Did I get accepted? Am I in? I don't know.
I would assume so.
Yay!
You haven't done
Coming for you, lads.
You haven't done anything bad over the last season or so. You've done well in the fantasy league, so.
I think I've done nothing but good, actually. Just gonna say. Tip my own hat to myself, doing all these reviews and doing the podcast.
Can you go a fine-free season, though, Steve? That's the main question.
I don't remember what a fine looks like. I have not seen.
We'll see what happens this time. Well, after season 24 finishes, and see.
Do have a few games built. Yeah, I've got a few games building up at the moment, but they'll be discussed later.
So, looking quickly at the Golden Boot for Club League 2, I'll butcher all these names. It goes to Emmanuel Giolotti for Rubiash on 23 goals.
23 of his 58 goals.
Yep, and 12 goals came from Rakilme, who was 2nd place, also for Rubiash. So,
is he not old folks home by now? He's well past it. I would have thought.
Also, not because he's doing well for Rubiash.
Doing the business.
He was a great player at Federal, fantastic player. And there are 4 players showing 3rd place, all on 11 goals. Lucas Prato for Tans, Nolan Rao, Wu even for Big C, Mohamed Abuele for Big B, and Maro Sarate for Tans. So Rubiash, like Aaron, takes the clean sweep in his league. So congrats. We'll move on now to the International Xbox One League, and we see that Balsa has won the league. A clear 8 points. 8 points, yeah. 8 points up ahead of Marcos.
With the Portuguese.
57 goals scored, so you can see that that's quite a good goal difference ratio as well.
Yeah. Marcos down second. Yeah, you're about to say Wellstone only lost 2. Marcus only lost 2 as well. He just let it slip with a bunch of draws.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe people couldn't break them down with the mighty Sweden.
Mm. I mean, yeah, their attack really good, but the defence yet to be decided. Third place is Spurs on 31 points. Then it goes Worm, Ibod, Macadam, Andy, Storm, Ash, and Rigsy. There'll be no relegations because there's only one international league, so you guys are safe. That's obviously if you decide to do it next season as well.
It's more like a spiritual relegation. You got to feel bad about it.
Yeah, you got to be glad that you survived, but you got to feel bad because
yeah,
you should be going down. The Golden Boot was a tight one. Wales wins it by a goal with Ronaldo.
Imagine Ronaldo. Over Ibra, or is it Worm Falcao? No, neither. No.
It is with Ibod and Javier Hernandez.
Oh yeah, I remember.
25 goals.
Oh, fair play.
Third place is Falcao on 12.
That's 25 of 40 goals for Ibud, so Hernandez clearly a ball hogger. Didn't want to share out the goals between everyone.
Yeah, considering that the rest, none of the other Mexican players are actually on the Golden Boot standings on the first page. Shows that he realised doing quite a lot.
Or maybe he was just the ultimate poacher, always there to mop up.
Ibra was down in joint 9th for 9 goals, and actually wasn't Marcus' top scorer. Marcus' top scorer was Marcus Berg on 11 goals.
Okay.
So shows
you
that
return to Spider instead.
Maybe. Well, whether it is, it almost worked for him, but let it slip with the draws he had.
Yeah.
I'm sure if Marcus invests in a better team, he will be definitely pushing for that championship spot title. Yeah, so I'm thinking of the words. I think just went blank.
Yeah, there's some good teams to be had in the international league. So if he sells off Sweden or lets them go, he could definitely end up with someone better.
And now to the 360 leagues. Starting with the Club League, and you see Cows winning the Club League for the Xbox 360, 3 points ahead of Big Ash.
Well done, congratulations.
And 6 points ahead of Hernandez with your old team Hoffenheim.
Hey.
It was looking pretty bleak for Hernandez. He obviously heard the podcast and heard what he had to say.
Heard my words of inspiration, and maybe the real life Hoffenheim. Yeah, maybe the real life Hoffenheim had a good run because some of their players get pretty good with the whole inform bits. So Volland and Salihovic and Firmino. So good real life players. So that's always a bonus.
Yeah, plus Volland was in the consistent team of the season or Ultimate team. So
there you go.
He's also doing well in real life.
Good lad.
If after Hernandez it follows Destroyer, who both won 28 points. Organic Words, Wince, Silver Chaos, Soggy Cabbages and Gasgorops. It's weird because both Hernandez and Big Ash had 10 better goal difference than Cows, but Cows manages to pick up the wins. He went the whole season without drawing a game as well. So
yeah, he obviously went all out for wins when he needed them, and so maybe that led to some of his defeats as well. But it must have been some exciting games going on.
Another clean sweep as well because Cows has taken the Golden Boot with Cyril Faroux on 18 goals. Second place was Kevin Folland. So Hernandez, definitely listen to your words of wisdom. And Organic Word takes third and fourth with Nikita Yelofik on 12 goals and Shane Long on 11.
That must have been a lovely sight to see when those players were added into the team. So, he would have had them for quite a while, but if he had the Hull of a few months ago, who would he have had? Danny Graham?
Yeah.
And Sagbo?
Sagbo's still there, but
Yeah, he's no Shane Long and Nikichi
no.
Evans, so.
Oh no, nowhere near. So he's basically a poor man. Basically, Danny Graham and Sagbo are poor man's Nikita Yedovic and Shane Long. Really. So yeah, congrats to everyone there. And finally, the 360 International League sees Big Ash win the International League and clears 6 points ahead of Cows. There's a 3-way tie as well.
Oh, for second place, yeah. All decided on goal difference.
Yeah. Cows. I've seen you complain a lot of times with Brazil, but he obviously managed to grab enough goals with Brazil to take second place on goal difference ahead of Hernandez and bring it 007.
Yeah.
Cows on 27 goals or goal difference. Hernandez on 17 and bring on 11.
Yeah, good teams to have come third and fourth as well. Russia and Turkey. I've used both of them in league season, so to come ahead of Wince's France and a couple of other teams there is pretty good. Pretty good going.
You got Wince behind Bring It and Destroyer, Organic Words, Recouches, Gasgras and Andy.
And there's a Big Ash with 64 goals, so we're going to have to say definitely Benteke or Lukaku, you'd imagine, are going to take that golden boot on his behalf.
Yeah, we've got another clean sweep. Every league's seen a clean sweep. He's Benteke. Yeah, he got the golden boot. 22 goals. 4 ahead of second place. Hernandez with Kuroko in. And third place was the draw between Eden Hazard and Neymar.
Okay.
Lukaku was 5th on 11 goals, joint with Joe for Cows.
Yeah, that's pretty good, seeing as if Ash played the 4-3-3 that Belgium did. He probably started with Lukaku most of the time, so maybe, or Benteke even. So Lukaku would have gotten most of his goals off the bench. So 11's nothing too shabby.
It depends really what formation Big Ash played. He might have went 2 up top. And
in that case, forget what I just said. We'll never know unless we ask him.
I'm sure he won't want to reveal his secrets. So
you'll just have to break the 360 out and play him.
So we'll move on now to the Fantasy League, as that has also finished. And in Fantasy League 1, Aaron has won the title. Cleared 10 points ahead of second place Marcos, who nicked second place in the last match day. I think he needed to win both games against Roach. I think he played, and he managed to do that. Magoo finished third on 26 points. Dan 23. The relegation playoffs saw myself face Worm, and automatically relegated was Big B and last year's champion Roachy.
That's that's just for anyone who's not in the fancy league. That's how it goes. You win the league one season, and the next season you get relegated. So yeah, it's all about the team you have and trading and being wily. So maybe Roachy underplayed some of his hands and sold some of his better players and didn't get so good ones in return.
Well, he should have sort of minus 28 goal difference and only won 2 games. Yeah.
All them defenders gone. Time for a whole change up. This is like getting relegated from the Premier League to the Championship. You just can't hold on to them good players.
I have played the relegation playoff against them and I won.
Hey, yeah.
So I am not going down.
Hard luck to Worm.
To be honest, I was expecting to be relegated and I was accepting defeat before the game. But my guys were like, no, Wayne, we're going to win. Yeah. And they went out and won the game. So I'm sure I can put off relegation for one season.
Yeah, and now you're not going to start the season in minus figures, so you stand a better chance of finishing higher up the league.
Hopefully I can get in a few more players. I know what players I kind of need, so need to see who's available and who I can really get rid of as well, because I'm dead rating my team. What I'm going to say is, if you want one of my players, just PM me and we'll sort something out. Easy
And
that.
they could well be one of them rubbish players.
Could be Michu if you want. Could be Yelovic. You know, whoever you want. I'm sure
The
it'll
AG
come to something.
podcast is not your personal selling platform.
It is
way.
now. It's my podcast.
Oh, sorry, I have to sit here and be quiet.
Well, you can't be now because we're coming into your league in Fantasy League 2,
Yeah.
where Ruby Ash has won League 2 with 2 points clear of Master KK.
Good job to both.
I think again Ruby Ash needed to drop points for KK to stand a chance, but Ruby Ash won both his games. So which caused him to win the title.
Good
And the playoffs see yourself, Steve, Hello World, Tans, and Toonkev battling each other to see who can get relegated, who can get promoted into League 1.
Okay. Yeah,
how are you getting on?
I've only played the single game against Toonkev. We drew 1-1. I was winning 1-0. I was playing okay. But then he brought on the monster that is Kozak, who's about 6'9", and he scored from a corner. And then he nearly scored late on as well, but it went wide of the post. So I guess I should be grateful for that. But I played well enough, so I got a bit of confidence going into my last 2 games. And it's the type of situation where I might only need 1 win depending on other results. So we'll see how that goes.
If the current table sees Toonkev first, played 2 games on 4 points. Yourself played 1 and 1 point. Hello World yet to play any games. I think he's on holiday, so that's why.
Okay.
And Tans played 1, 0 points. So
Okay.
it's going to be a very tight playoff.
Yeah, top 2 are getting promoted, is it?
I would assume top as there's 3 coming down, but with the 4 new people coming in, it could be top 2. So I don't know. I'm sure the banker will let us know sooner or later what's going on there.
He knows all.
Only the banker knows. But Ruby Ash having 2 very good seasons, winning Cup League 2 and the Fantasy League 2. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, going to be one to contend with in Fantasy League 1.
Yeah. And he went quite a lot of the season without losing any games. I was the first person to take any points off him, but that was just 2 draws. And then I think it wasn't towards the end that he lost, so maybe made it a bit nervy for himself. But he still came out on top anyway.
See if he can handle the pressure of Fantasy League 1 and Club League 1.
Yeah.
Right, so now we move on to the monthly tournaments. The main tournament is a Eurovision theme. Out of all the themes out there possible, we are given 2 teams from the semi-finals to Eurovision. I think I don't really pay attention to Eurovision.
Yeah, I would have watched it when I was younger, but not so much now. I like to, and I only ever liked hearing them say the points as well. Irlande, nil point. England, nil point.
It sounds about right.
Yeah.
So, you get basically 1 good team and 1 not so good team. My teams are Holland and Slovenia.
And I have myself Sweden and Switzerland.
Okay. So we'll cover each group with 3 groups, so we could do each group one by one. Group 1 sees it's groups of 6, and Group 1 sees Sultan, Steve's Echo, Jimmy Leakey, Grimly, myself, iPod, and Storm. I'm currently sitting 4th, and the best of games. Basically, I've got no chance of me getting promoted. Well, going through to the final, anyways. This is top 2, and I'm not going to get any chance to go top 2. So.
Do you not have 2 games remaining?
Yeah, I do, but I mean, Grimley's already ahead of me. Jimmy Leakey and Sultan are putting the as well at the top, so.
You can finish on 12 points, so try and win your last 2 and then you see what happens from there. Sure, I was that was the same for me in the last monthly tournament. I was top, and other people had games to play, and I just managed to hold on to it, I think, to get out of my group. And then even the fantasy league, I was third on 20 points, but there was people on, 16 points who had 4 games in hand, and I managed to stay third. So, never count yourself out.
Also, my last games go against Storm.
Well, have you yet to play any games?
Yeah, top
Oh,
Storm.
man. Oh, man. Then again, he's not the only person, but we're going to name and shame all of you.
We'll name and shame when we get to that group.
Ruby, Ash, and Stevie.
Well, I thought we were going to get to the group. Fine.
Well, we're pretty much there. They're in the next group.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, so moving on to Group 2, as we made a transfer. Currently, the group's made up of Toonkev, Hunter, Steve, Ruby, Ash, Stevie, and Andy. Who have you played so far, Steve? Your only 2 games?
I played Kev, so Sweden, I won 5-1. It was the Ibra show. It was beautiful. And then in the second match, I lost 3-2 against his Poland. So, I might have snuck a draw at the end. But my Switzerland striker isn't the best. The rest of the team is fine, but they don't have much right up top. So,
Who's the striker for Switzerland?
His name was something along the lines of Dernic or something. It was like DRNIC, something like that. I had a couple of choices off the bench, but he seemed the best. But I messed around with the formation as well, so I'll be okay with him, I think. And Sweden, obviously Ibra, everyone knows, so that's all you need to know about Sweden.
I think the best bit, obviously in the party when you're playing your games, I think the best bit about you playing with Switzerland is that there's a player called Bergen in the team, which made you happy.
And I think his name begins with S as well. I think he's Stefan von Bergen, so he's pretty much my Swiss counterpart. So yeah, I very much like that guy. Put him on the team.
Play him?
Did I? I might have taken him off. There might have been a slightly better defender, but he'll get his time. I wouldn't let a Bergen. I won't let them down. I'm sure we're related somehow. Can't just be coincidence.
Oh, of course not. It's a shame because you've got him and I've got Danny Graham to rely on, so...
Yeah.
Can't have it all.
My guy sounds like a count or a lord or something. Maybe he has his own principality within Switzerland, because he's like Lord von Bergen. Has a nice name to it.
You have to look that up and see.
Yeah. I'm going to set up some kind of family reunion and invite all the Bergens from around the world and see if any interesting characters show up, but it's mainly for him, because he's a footballer. And
he's probably loaded.
Switzerland are in the World Cup, so look out for him. First goal scorer.
Look out for Steve's cousin in the World Cup.
Yeah. Every match that he plays, first goal scorer, you'll probably get about $1,000 back.
Most probably. It depends if he plays as well.
Of course he will. He's a Bergen.
Yeah, but he's got the likes of like Sendvos and Dejura to contend with.
Exactly. He's a shoo-in.
And Group 3 sees Marcos, Rome, Ash, Yorkshire, Big B and Macadam battling out. Yeah. Marcos is currently top. Rome and Ash are on the same points. There's a 5-point gap between them and Yorkshire. But Yorkshire's played all of his games, so he's got no chance.
But Macadam's only played 2 and he's won one of them, so he's still got a good chance of getting up there.
This is the thing with like monthly tournament, when people have games in hand, you can never predict how well they're going to do. So
it takes a while.
Could easily just play all these games, win all of them, and take top spot.
Yeah, it takes a while for all of them to settle into what it's going to look like. But for the most part, people have played a lot of games, so this one's flying along at the moment. So fair play to everyone. My group is the one that's lagging behind at the moment, but that'll be rectified, so it's okay.
I want to say remember lads, it's top 2, so you've got everything to play for.
Yeah, and then those who do get through, I think we'll be getting a new team based on the people, the finalists, I think, who are in the Eurovision. Like there's a super group or something of countries that always get into the finals, so I think the teams might be decided that way.
The top 2 in each group will progress to the final group stage, where you will be given new teams based on the Eurovision Big Five. Plus the host nation of Denmark.
Okay. So someone's guaranteed Denmark. And
someone's guaranteed to be playing with Niklas Bentner.
Whoa, what a hero. Let's see.
5.
Yeah, that's what I was about to look up. Big 5. Oh wait, that's sporting goods. Big 5 distribution for the final.
Okay, I found it.
France? No, that'd be too good, wouldn't it?
The distribution of the 5 countries is left as follows: Germany, France, Italy, Spain, and England.
And Denmark. Oh
So
no.
whoever gets
Denmark.
Denmark's going to be pretty much screwed if they have to come up against the likes of Spain or
Yeah.
Italy. Well, we need those teams really.
So this might all depend on who is currently at the top of the ladder. So I'm going to say Marcos. So if he qualifies, he might well get Denmark. And then he might well embarrass all of us with Denmark. They do have Christian Eriksen and Daniel Agger and Sorensen, I presume.
Niklas Bentner.
And I was leaving the anticipation because we know how good he is. He's
Lord Bentner. Don't touch
the next coming of I don't know who. Messi.
Steers
And he's-
reached 50 received. Good for you, Steve. The 360 monthly tournament sees a big split in the league really, because we've got 4 players that have played 6 games, and then there's 3 players who haven't played any yet. Big Ash, Soggy Cabbages, Organic Bird and Cows have all played 6 games each, and Nutter, Tea and Companies and Bringy have all yet to even start. So Big Ash has won every game so far, so
And he's only conceded 2 goals.
he likes to dominate these monthly tournaments. I remember the April tournament he dominated pretty well as well.
He might be solely responsible for forcing people to buy an Xbox One just so they don't have to play him all the time anymore.
The goals that he's conceded came from Organic Bird and Cows.
Heroes, each of them.
These games have been 5-1, 2-0, 4-0, 2-0, 3-1 and 7-0.
Ouch.
So
And what team is he using? Do we know?
I was
Teams
just on that
plural.
page, so
Teams plural.
can I go back? Yeah, I'll go back. It doesn't say. It just says the fact that. Oh, there you go. I'm blind. Big Ash has got Hungary and Switzerland as his 2 teams.
Hungary.
Yeah,
Wow.
Switzerland.
I'm very impressed now. Actually, now that you say Hungary, I remember him mentioning something in the shout box yesterday, saying that they're actually surprisingly good. But maybe that's only surprisingly good if you're a surprisingly good player.
Well, considering he's got to contend with the likes of Holland, Russia, Belgium, Portugal, Holland again, and Sweden with Hungary.
We can presume that he's quite a good player.
He does, however, when he has Switzerland, he's got Romania, Poland, Austria, Ireland, Slovenia, and Greece to contend with. So he's got the better of the second team for sure.
Clearly Ireland, you know.
I didn't mention names there. I just said he's got the better teams.
Oi,
So
we beat Switzerland probably one time under Jack Charlton. We beat everybody under Jack Charlton.
I don't know who Jack Charlton is. So.
What? Bobby Charlton's brother.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't know he managed Ireland.
That was Italia 90 World Cup in '94.
Oh,
What a year!
I was born in 92, so
Uh,
I don't know. I was like what 2?
well, yeah, I wasn't that old either, but still, all of Ireland remembers that. It's like collective memory. It's ingrained in us.
You
That
see
time
that?
we
You see
all
that
right.
taught in your schools? Like,
Yeah.
like PE.
We have posters of them in every classroom, and before we start the day, we turn and salute them.
Is there like a special prayer to Jackie Charlton?
No, we just all sing the Olay song.
Okay.
That was
Oh,
the
that sounds it. I wish
that
I
was the
was
World Cup anthem. Yeah, you wish you were Irish.
dear. To be fair, I've got 3 countries in me. Ireland probably could be in there somewhere.
It's floating about, clinging to the side of the boat.
So move on to Forza now. just mark what minute it is. My iPad decides to work. 35th.
35, flown in.
So Forza, we've just finished night 6, but I've yet to update the tables because I've had a busy morning. But after 5 nights, the leaderboard stands as Andy first, me second, then it goes Aaron, Big B, Tans, World with Kev, Hello World. And you can tell it's been consistent on who can't make it every week because there's like a 200-point gap between 9th and 10th. With 10th being Magoo, then Taza, Ash, Marcus, Macadam, and then you got Nerve Agent, Colin, and Roach. And then you got Taza, Rex, D, and Rigsy all yet to score points purely because they've had to pull out for one reason or another or haven't turned up.
It's nice that you kept my name on the list though.
If I could delete it, I would, but...
Oh. Ow. That hurts.
Ow.
Hurts my driving soul.
That's your driving school.
I'm riding in the car alongside my old teammates, Rochi and Magoo, who I never actually got to drive along with, actually, so you know.
You say Rochi and Magoo?
Was it not them two, or was it Worm?
Yeah,
Worm and Magoo.
Yeah, Worm and Magoo.
I Worm.
The constructors leaderboard stands after 5 nights is Team 2, because I ain't got a name yet, of Aaron, Andy and Tuzza Jr. on first. Then Pompey Lagoon, which is myself, Big B and Ash, second. Then Mr. T's, who is Toon, Kev, Tuzza and Tans on third. 2 Paddies on the Plastic, which are not my name, which was Steve's old team, which is Worm, Magoo and Bigsy now, who are fourth. Are We There Yet, which is Rolton, Macadam and Rex, fifth. And finally, Team 1, another team without a name, of Hello World, Marcus and Roach, last.
Not a very good position for a team called Team 1, even though they didn't pick the name, but still, no. They're not exactly reflecting their own name. Just call themselves Team Last, that would be funny.
It would fit well. It'd be awkward though if they started showing up every week and then managed to get like third or fourth. Then it'd be like, oh.
Well, that would be great. They can trump their own name.
We fooled you all.
Yeah. Exactly. False sense of security for everyone. It's like, oh, it's Team Last. Well, I presume they're last, right? It's like, nope, they're second. And
that is AG done and dusted. And now we'll move on to the real life side of life. And
well, of course,
to the Premiership.
Sign-ups are open for season 24, I do believe it is.
Yeah,
so get your name down so you can join. The Fantasy League is full, so if you're not in it, you only get to hear about it from us and people on the site, but you cannot join right now. But always keep an eye out for a place that becomes available, because it's like gold dust and it will be immediately pounced on by many people. So you got to get in there fast, and also, try and promote yourself well by playing on the site. But yeah, the Club League and International League are still there for everyone. So I don't know how long sign-ups are open for, but there's a link at the top of the shout box. So get your name down.
I think yourself can agree with me, Steve, that saying that the Fantasy League probably the best league easily on the site.
It is, yeah, because there's just a lot more to it than just playing the game. So that's why they say you have to be a regular on the site. You need to be checking it at least once a day for all the auctions, because you're not going to get tagged in every post. It's up to you to look at things. But it's obviously got the added thing of buying and selling players and having a different team for every other match. So yeah, it's very exciting.
Also,
lots of shady PMs.
Yeah, a lot of fun, the hand deals
being fired across. Yeah.
Let's point out on the Steve's point of the sign-ups. The sign-ups closed on the 11th of May, which gives you 5 days to sign up if you haven't already.
Oh, not long. And
you're asking, yeah.
Most people will have played 10 ladder games, but if you haven't, you need to reach that mark to be considered for one of the leagues to show that you're an active player and the like. So get playing. There's so many people on the site these days. It's much easier to get a ladder than it used to be at one point. You know, there people would come on for their league games, but then they'd be busy afterwards. But now there's people just kind of milling around. So you see a lot of people asking for ladders. So and then you've got the whole forum where you can leave the times you're available, or to say that you're ready to play right now.
Best place to do it is in the gaming forums forum in the I'm online section. Just simply put ladder games and then put the times you want to play, and people will get back to you.
Exactly.
And yeah, simple as that really. Best way to get games played if you haven't got the 10 needed to get into the leagues. So with that said, also another thing I'd like to point out, on Saturday, still echoing again.
That's okay. It's all the silence, but my voice needs to be heard.
It's like a sign.
Yeah.
But yeah, on Saturday there is a Titanfall event happening. I tried to get one going last week, but nobody was really interested. Oh. But now we've got the pulling power of Marcos on our side, so Mr. Captain of AG, you'll probably get a better turnout than what I could, being the head of AG. So yeah, Titanfall on Saturday. Usual sign up is required. Opens at 7. Will start at 9. I can only assume that there will be pounds in Scudo for those that turn up, so there's an incentive there. I'm sure Tant will turn up because he's only in it for the money, as he likes to announce every night in Forza. He's honest. You can't default him for that. He's honest. But
that's just all the more reason for everyone to gang up on him and make the night an absolute misery. So just when he's not in a Titan, make sure you are, so you can stand on his head.
You get £3 million for turning up, which might not seem a lot, but in the long run, it really helps.
May make a difference if all our pounds and whatnot get nerfed from the new season. Fingers crossed they don't.
They are.
We love you, banker.
Have you not seen Steve? You haven't seen, have you?
No. What's this? Tell me the bad news.
A new ruling that after every 2 seasons, all pounds will be reset. So at the end of this season, season 5, pounds will be reset.
But that's not fair.
It is perfectly fair. It keeps everyone closer together. So
I've got £133 million that I didn't get to spend.
You've got 1 season to spend that then.
Oh, so at the end of next season.
Yeah, season 5.
Very good. Okay, that'll do. That'll all be gone. Don't worry. I don't want to keep it. I want tasting new shiny players.
Unlike a certain person who doesn't want to spend. Just waiting for that white player. I won't name names.
That's special someone to come along.
Everyone in the fantasy league knows exactly what I'm on about.
He's just waiting for Messi to turn up one day.
Yeah, and he's not going to get him.
That mystery 94 rated player.
No, the banker's always 2 steps ahead, always.
Yeah.
So yeah, now we'll move on to real life stuff and the Premiership.
Maybe I was just trying to put this off for as long as I could.
Yeah. Well, the time has come. Last night, we'll discuss last night first because that's probably the biggest thing that happened.
Yeah.
Liverpool played Crystal Palace, and Liverpool went up 3-0.
They won 3-0, and it was great, and everyone had a lovely time. And the last day of the season is going to be super exciting.
And
isn't that what happened? I went to bed. I went to bed after an hour, so I didn't see anything that happened.
That's what all the Liverpool fans would have liked to have happened, but in reality, what happened is that it was all going all swimmingly. During the 79th minute came, and Palace pulled a goal back.
And there was nothing to be concerned about. It was just a goal.
Took a deflection off. Because this was a goal. And in the 81st minute, Palace got another goal through Delaney. I remember who scored the first one. I think it was Kale.
No, Delaney scored the first, and then Gale scored the second.
Okay. And then a few minutes passed, and then in the 85th minute, Palace scored again. I think again through Delaney. And basically within 6 minutes, Liverpool went from 3-0 up to 3-3, and they went from being a comfortable, well, not comfortable, but a pressuring 3 points ahead into now being 1 point ahead.
Well, I can say that we went from being second in the league to being first, so whatever.
Well, looking back at it now, it's not exactly good considering you're 1 point ahead of City and 2 points ahead of Chelsea.
Yeah. Well, I think Jamie Carragher made a good point directly afterwards, saying that this has been coming and this has just happened to be the match where it actually happened. So if you look back to Man City and we took a 2-goal lead and then we conceded 2 goals there, and then I guess we were fortunate that the ball broke to Coutinho the way it did. And then against Norwich we also took a 3-0 lead and then we let them get 2 goals back. So defence, we always knew Liverpool had an amazing attack, like Sterling, Suarez and Sturridge will score, I think, against just about any team, bar Chelsea at the moment. Chelsea. Well, they scored a lot of goals against Arsenal at one point.
I meant the first game.
In the first game. Okay. But Chelsea are the only team. I think Chelsea are the only team to stop them from scoring, like to stop all 3 from scoring, because I think when Liverpool scored against Chelsea it was Skirtle from a corner, and obviously we didn't score at Anfield. But so it's kind of midfield and defence. Henderson is just a huge miss. Lucas just, either he's not the same player he was, or he's just not cut out for that position. And because we're playing slightly differently, it's going to be hard for him unless he displaces Gerrard and takes that kind of holding role, seeing as Gerrard's moving on. But it was just poor defending. Glenn Johnson's getting all kinds of stick on Twitter, and he's had to come out fighting, saying that people don't know and they're all armchair football analysts and the like. But no one should concede the lead from 3-0 up. But it happened.
Especially not in like 5 minutes as well. That's just it's not good uniform.
Yeah, it was still never in our hands though. Like we're always going to rely on Villa or West Ham taking points off City. So now instead of a draw, we need them to win. So that is different, because a draw maybe could have happened, last minute goals or blah blah blah. So a win is, especially for 2 teams who aren't playing for anything. But I still hold out hope that they could do it, and there could still be at least one more twist. As long as the twist isn't Chelsea winning the league, that would make me feel a bit sick, because they're so much less deserving than City or Liverpool. Just because of Mourinho.
They need both Liverpool and City to lose both, or City to lose both their games, Liverpool to lose their game.
And for them.
It could happen. It won't, but it could happen.
So it's still kind of all to play for. We'll see what happens on Wednesday, and then even as a City win on Wednesday, it's more about they need to win both games. They could win and draw. But last day of the season could be interesting. They nearly let it slip against QPR those few seasons ago. So hopefully not a repeat of that. I'd hate to be in that position that United fans were in, where it looked like, say they're losing 2-1 to West Ham in the last couple of minutes, and Liverpool are comfortably seeing off Newcastle 7-0. Only for, because even one more goal obviously would be enough. They wouldn't need to win that if they beat Villa, but we'll see what happens.
That's the top race pretty much summed up. We've comfortably got fourth,
as you guys do somehow,
as we always like to do, because Wenger lost that 4th place trophy, and he has received it again.
When is it not going to be enough though? Well, because we always hear about Arsenal fans not happy, and then all of a sudden 4th comes along, and I'd imagine all the Arsenal fans who are, not all of them, but a lot of them who are really anti-Wenger kind of just exhale and go, oh well, I suppose it's all right. But surely there's more and more these days going, no wait, this isn't okay to just finish 4th all the time, or to look like at one point in the season you're going to win the league and then just completely not be in the race at all.
Because we it's just the annoying thing. Like, we spent most time in 1st place this season. I think it was like 100 and something days we've spent at the top.
126 or something like that.
And typically we have a decline in our season. It usually happens at the start, but this time it happened like in the middle, like about 2/3 of the end of the season.
Well, you had players like Ozil and stuff who were performing, and obviously Ramsey was a huge loss for the rest of the season.
We had that tough one in March and April, where we just fell apart.
Yeah.
And basically from there we just let it slip. And yeah, everyone knows, well, everyone on EG probably knows that I'm anti-Wenger. I'm a part of the BSM, which is the biggest Arsenal support group out there at the moment.
Support group exists. Yeah. Supporter.
It's a support group.
As opposed to a supporters group.
It's the same. It's the same. It's the two
support group is for like leaning on each other because you're all sad and like kind of Arsenal-aholics, and it's not good for your health.
Anyways, yeah, with supporters group, you technical bastard. And we want the old Arsenal back. The Arsenal that were winning trophies and bringing good players and doing the Invincibles and etc. So basically, there's us and there's the AKB, which is the Arsen Nose Brigade, who still think Arsen is the king and he still can do it, which he does show signs of, brilliance at times. But he's getting to the stage now where, enough is enough. We've fed up a 4th and 3rd for like the last 6 seasons.
And decent to good cup runs.
Yeah, I mean, I hope we don't choke the FA Cup. Yeah.
It's funny though that he seems to have forgotten how to spot players who can help him win the league. Like the classic Invincibles team had,
I think he helps you there because that stopped when David Dean left. David Dean was our chairman and he was the main figure in getting players like Perez and Bergkamp and Henry into the team. And Fiera, yeah. The players that basically made up the Invincibles team. So also, he won't come back. It'd be a miracle if he does.
But not even in terms of skillful players, but in terms of the type of player he seems to like now are they're very technical and stuff, but they're all very slight in build. So you've got Ozil, and then you've got Cazorla, and then you've got like Chamberlain and Walcott, and I'm sure they're strong in their own way, but they're not overly powerful. And then even in central midfield, he fills it with the likes of Wilshere and Arteta, and then he gets Kallstrom on loan,
Can you even count Kallstrom, really? I mean, he's played, 3 games?
Yeah, but that type of player, like when he should be looking for a kind of strong central midfielder, he then clearly seems to look at, kind of other attributes, and he probably would have played more if he hadn't have arrived and like injured himself on the first day.
Well, he arrived with the injury, so...
Ah, okay. Well, that was also a poor move.
Yeah.
But yeah, some big, imposing, midfielder, but he seems to shy away from them. So, and then players like Ozil and stuff, maybe, not to say they're not cut out for the Premier League, but Ozil certainly dropped off after his kind of introduction to the season. He had 10, 11 assists, like in a pretty quick space of time. I think a lot of people pointed to the penalty miss against Bayern Munich as him just kind of dropping away.
To be fair, a lot of players say that it takes a good season to get used to the Premiership.
Yeah,
Saka's a perfect example. First season he was at Arsenal. He wasn't bad. He wasn't good. But this season with Koscielny and last season as well, they've made a fantastic pairing in defence, and so I'll judge Ozil next season. If he's still the same, then it's I guess it's money down the drain. But if he also shows Ozil that he was like at Madrid and like he does for Germany, then we could challenge again.
A World Cup could be a good World Cup. Could see him coming back in great form. Same for a lot of players.
Moving down the Premiership here, we've got Everton, who are we've pretty much summed up 5th. Better goal difference than Tottenham. So Tottenham needs United to slip up in their last 2 games, as well as Tottenham win their last game to get 6th in the final Europa League spot.
Which everybody wants.
Of course. You got Tottenham and United vying for it, and they're like 2 of the biggest teams in England. So
you kind of feel like they might be fighting to get away from it, like they're trying to work their way down the table, because there's
a lot of United fans, especially on AG, don't want United to get that last spot.
Yeah. Well, there's the kind of prevalent thought now that you could essentially do a Liverpool and not have any European competition to worry about and have a really good season in the league. So I think that's what a lot of United fans are looking towards. Not that they want to call it doing a Liverpool, but that is basically where the thought is coming from.
Plus also with new manager talk and whatnot coming in, and all these players United are linked with.
Louis van Gaal.
Yep.
I can't actually claim to know a lot about him other than he's a well-renowned European manager.
He's done well in the past. He's won trophies in Holland and Spain. So
he wasn't the manager of South Korea during that World Cup, was he?
I haven't got a clue.
Hold on while we Google that real quick. Louis van Gaal.
But yeah, going down the table, we've got the usual mid-table teams. Southampton. They had a good season. Southampton. They had a good start, but they faded in the middle. Newcastle, who would be below if it went for Remy. Stoke, Palace, West Ham, Swansea, Villa, Hull. And you got the relegation battle, which Cardiff and Fulham have lost already, and they're going down. And it's basically a 3-horse battle now between Sunderland, Norwich, and West Brom. Hull safe as well, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see who does go down. It'd be nice to see Sunderland stay up. They do deserve it. They've had a fantastic season. They've got some great results in the past, over like the last season. So Norwich have had a really tough one, and they've had really tough last bunch of games.
Like, did well against Chelsea to grind out a 0-0.
Yeah, I mean they've had us, United, Liverpool, and Chelsea. So
yeah,
the best.
So the Norwich bus parked itself better than the Chelsea bus, or better than Chelsea could get through. So that's nice to see. And I think Mourinho might have made some comments afterwards about their style of play, which would be fantastically ironic.
Yeah, I know Roach, who was very vocal about the Chelsea-Liverpool game, was loving the fact that Norwich quite love us.
Yeah.
So
they learn from the best.
Yeah, he was pretty pleased, and I'm sure that all the Chelsea fans were saying that it's wrong for Norwich to do that. Were praising Mourinho with his masterclass tactics when they're done against Liverpool.
And it's not Norwich's fault that they don't have the type of strikers who could take advantage on the counter attack. So, but that's what £100 million gets you.
I mean, it's not like realistically like Ricky Van Wolfswinkel can compare to the likes of Samuel Eto'o. So
yeah,
but
just to go back to that, it was actually Gus Hiddink who was the manager of South Korea.
Okay.
I knew it was some. They seem to have a history here on Wikipedia of hiring Dutch people. So anyway, that's South Korea. That's another discussion.
Yeah, another discussion for another time. But that's the Premiership pretty much wrapped up. I don't know if there's anything left to say.
It ends on Sunday. Every game's going to be kicking off at 3 o'clock. I took the day off work a while ago, hoping that I'd be sitting down to watch Liverpool be crowned champions, or that it might have already happened last night, but it wasn't to be. So, but at least I, like a lot of people, didn't book a ticket to Liverpool, and now it might be a bit deflating to be there. But some people apparently have already sold their tickets for the Newcastle match, which is a really poor form. There's going to be the end of season lap of honour and stuff like that, and the fact that we've moved from 7th to 2nd in one season is nothing to turn your back on. So, if the only thing you want is first, then you're probably not best off watching football in general or changing team every season.
I know a few Liverpool fans bringing out merchandise of Premiership winners, 13, 14 stuff, which was pretty previous, but can't fault their season. Liverpool have had a fantastic season this season with Brendan Rodgers. Suarez and Sturridge have been unstoppable.
Yeah.
With the likes of, Gerrard and Coutinho, Sterling behind them as well. And Henderson's had a great season.
Yeah. And he's only going to get better. They're also young as well, like obviously Gerrard's at the end of his career, but the likes of Sterling, Joe Allen, Henderson, Sturridge, they're all under 24, I think. So we've got a really good core there. Even Sacco's 22. Mignolet is young as well. But so I just can't wait to sit down Tuesday, Wednesday nights, hear a bit of Champions League music, and actually watch Liverpool play, because there are loads of other European teams. And then, we've also got so that's Premier League gone. Who got promoted to the Premier League? Leicester and Burnley.
Yeah, and the playoffs. Yeah.
I think it's Brighton, Wigan, Derby, and someone else.
Championship table. Show me the table.
No.
No, it's not. You've got to go the long way through BBC websites.
Oh.
Here we go.
Yeah, usually Google just shows us straight there.
The championship playoff sees Derby face Brighton and QPR face Wigan. Brighton got through in the last game of the season, I think.
Yeah, I was watching. They had the games on at the same time because who was it? Reading were playing Burnley and Brighton were playing Nottingham Forest, and it actually swung back and forth quite a bit because Reading took the lead against Burnley and then actually went down 2-1, but then Brighton were losing to Nottingham Forest 1-0, and then they scored really late on. I think it was like the 85th minute. So yeah, it was not quite the same as the season before, but I don't think we'll ever match that. Was it Watford conceding the penalty and then going down the other end and scoring in like the last minute? So yeah, that was beyond exciting.
Well, Leicester got their that's the rate of season, but Leicester finally got their just desserts by winning the championship by
102 points as well.
Yeah, which is fantastic. Point total to have.
As well as teams do in the Championship, though, it never really is an indicator of how well they're going to do in the Premier League because there's such a huge step up. So, they're going to have to buy smart. I guess the likes of Hull have shown how you stay in the Premier League, whereas the likes of Cardiff, who shopped out their manager halfway through when they weren't even doing too poorly. So that is definitely not the way to go.
Norwich got rid of Chris Hutton.
Chris Hutton, yeah.
He wasn't doing bad, so...
Yeah, I just... Owners, especially owners who are new to the Premier League, just have such unrealistic expectations of what you can achieve with certain teams, and, they obviously think, oh, this Malky Mackay guy, he's not winning in the... he's winning some matches, but he's not winning enough, and he's not doing it in a nice enough style, so then they go and bring in someone else, and then that doesn't work, so... You wouldn't imagine Solskjaer, well, maybe they'll let him have a season in the Championship, but, it's too much change.
Sometimes it's not the manager, sometimes it's the chairman. I mean, Vincent Tan, not exactly the best person you'd want behind you.
Yeah, changing the colour of the entire team from blue to red and replacing their logo with the dragon instead, just to appeal to the Asian market. I'd love to see the figures of how many football fans in Asia now count themselves as Cardiff supporters.
Probably a fair few. On the subject of the Championship, another story that appeared was Birmingham, who saved themselves from relegation in the last minute of their game.
Yes, yeah.
By getting, I think it was a draw, like a 2-2 draw, and
against Bolton,
and staying up and allowing Doncaster to be relegated in the process.
Yeah, on goal difference as well, a pretty big gap of 15 goals. But Birmingham nearly going the way of the likes of Leeds and Wolves, who, once they dropped down one league, were straight down again. But
What's I say? The interesting is the celebrations after the game at Birmingham were pretty epic. Everyone went to the pitch and the manager. I don't know the manager's name, but he went into the crowd and stuff. It was.
I think I did see that as it. Yeah, but they probably would have been tipped for promotion playoffs and stuff. So to only scrape by, 46 games, they only amassed 44 points. So they lost 24 matches. So not too good. But yeah, at least it gives them.
Yeovil only lost 25 and they got relegated at bottom. So.
Yeah, but it does give them a chance to prepare for next season. And, because remember, was it when Roy Keane took over Sunderland, who were bottom, and then he got them to first? So, yeah, the Championship is an odd league.
Yeah, it's really unpredictable, which is good, but,
And then Wolves will be back up, actually. Wolves are making the long climb back up. They finished on possibly the highest points total anywhere in Europe, I think 103 points. So they'll be back in the Championship and have a go again back into the Premier League.
They've had a rough time of late, but it'd be nice to see them bounce back into the Championship. And hopefully, having a good mid-table finish.
Yeah. At least.
Being
my
local team, sad to see that Stevenage got relegated from League One. Finished bottom. Or joint bottom of points, but bottom and goal difference. They've had two really good seasons. They got into the conference, or the Blue Square now, and they won the FA Trophy as well. Got into League Two and got promoted from League Two into League One in consecutive seasons, but sadly couldn't stay in League One. I'm hoping they'll not get relegated again and hopefully push back up into League One again. So it's nice to see that happen. Like your local team push for success. I mean, I know Ash and Suggy, who are local Brighton or Brightonians, so pretty happy that their local team would be pushing for Premiership playoff places. So yeah.
Let's have a quick mention of the La Liga table, because that division still isn't decided yet, and it's going to go right down to the last few games. So the weekend just gone was probably the biggest shock for all three teams. Atletico Madrid lost for the first time in at least 10 games, or at least 9, I think. I think it was against Celta Vigo. They managed to lose. Let's have a quick look at the report. I didn't hear the score or anything. Lost 2-0 to Levante. Went behind early to an own goal from Felipe Luis, and then conceded again in the 69th minute. But basically, Atletico Madrid are still top on 88 points. Barcelona are second on 85 points, and Real Madrid are third on 83 points. But they've got a game in hand over the other two teams, so they can move up to 86th. So that could be huge for the end of the league, because in Spain they do it on head-to-head, so it doesn't matter if you've got a better goal difference by 100. It's about your previous meetings in the season, and Atletico and Barcelona play each other on the last day. So we could have one of those situations where Real Madrid need Barcelona to beat Atletico Madrid for Real Madrid to win the league. So yes. So, and then, do we have an Everton Man City situation where everyone's questioning the desire of one team versus the other? But you definitely feel like Barcelona wouldn't want to hand the title to Real Madrid. So so keep an eye out for that. So they've got, I guess, their final league games will take place the weekend after the Premier League ones. So nothing to distract you. You can have a look and see how it all finishes.
Considering doing international, being part Italian, shout out to Serie A. Juve won the title. Again. Well, I'm glad to see Roma got second. They've done really well.
That's such a great start as well.
So they went unbeaten for ages, really. I think it's like 10 or 11 games.
Yeah.
And then they like a draw, and then they're like a really bad mid-season dip.
Yeah.
Where they got a few draws, and I think they lost to Juve as well, and Juve basically clawed their way back into it and managed to get a few last minute wins, whereas Roma got a few draws and Juve, in typical Juve style, pulled away from it. And
there's a huge gap between second and third as well. Napoli are on 69 points, but then Roma and second are on 85. So there's quite a large disparity in the Italian league at the moment. And Juventus don't look like they're going to get caught anytime soon, you know.
Well, they've won it. They've officially won the Scudetto.
Yeah.
So.
But like in the coming seasons as well, you know, Juventus will just keep on strengthening. So it's up to the other teams to try and claw that gap back.
It's nice to see Roma be where they are, though. 'Cause, Francesco Totti, one of my footballing idols. He's one of the reasons why I got into Italian football and followed it. So it's nice to see him and Roma push for second place, and also the Scudetto as well.
And then
also to see him in the Champions League, be nice as well.
Yeah, in the big derby on the weekend, AC Milan beat Inter Milan 1-0. It was funny actually. I was out for a friend's birthday, and this was the most packed club I've ever been in because they're selling all drinks for $2.50. So every single alcoholic and student was out in force. But we happened to be in a function room, and on one side of it they had a TV screen set up, and they were showing the AC Milan and Inter Milan match, and a couple of Italian lads had pulled up some chairs to try and watch it. But this was just the loudest, most packed place in the world. And these two people were just sitting there without a care, and they both seemed to be AC Milan fans because they left out of their chairs when AC Milan eventually scored. I think it took to the 85th minute or something for a goal to come along, but Milan seemed to be on top for most of it every time I glanced over. So there you go. Football is always important, apparently, even when the cheapest drinks on earth are on offer.
Roma took a full-on beating from Catalonia at the weekend. Which was a big win for them considering they could get relegated.
So no one's actually been relegated from the Italian thing yet, because even the team in 20th, Livorno, can actually get up as high as 17th or 16th, depending on other results. But they haven't won a game in about 8 games, I think. So.
No, they haven't. No. They've had a really poor one of form of late. The Europa League spots see Fiorentina, Inter, and Torino there, but the tight standings between 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th and 10th even. Just 4 points separating 5th to 10th. So.
Yeah. And just as you mentioned, the Europa League there, we're going to have Benfica versus Sevilla. So it's Portugal versus Spain. I think Benfica probably go in favourites into that match.
Benfica were looking at a quadruple.
Yeah, after they saw off Juventus, they only took a 0-0 draw for them to get through. And Sevilla actually nearly let it slip against Valencia because they were winning 2-0 from the first leg. And then Valencia got it back to 2-2. And then Sevilla got the deciding goal. So Spain kind of dominating all the European competitions because the Champions League is Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid.
Yep, that'd be a good game. Their games in the Liga BBVA have been the best of quality games, but
expect a lot of kind of histrionics and bleeding rolling around and trying to do every little thing to upset the other team or get players sent off. But hopefully they still make a good spectacle of it. Like Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund was a good all-German affair. So we'll see if this all-Spanish one can match up to that.
The fact that it's being played in Portugal as well would also add to the atmosphere, because Spain and Portugal aren't exactly the best of friends.
They'll get on well for the night, though.
Oh yeah,
we hope. But Real Madrid must be quite big favourites, just considering how they played recently, and especially how they took apart Bayern Munich the way they did. But you can expect Atletico Madrid to be a bit sturdier in defence than Bayern Munich ever were, and they'd be more used to playing at Real Madrid as well. So yeah, we'll see. It'll be Diego Costa versus Ronaldo probably in terms of who might win it for whom.
So yeah, I think that's all covered. Yeah.
And then, I'm so excited for the World Cup though, like really excited. I think with the World Cup in South Africa, I didn't always get to see the games because of the time difference. I think they were on that bit earlier, kind of during the afternoon. I might be in work maybe till 6:30 or 7, so I'd miss it. But now with it being in Brazil, I think the earliest kickoff's going to be about 8 in the evening or 9, so you're pretty much guaranteed to see every game that you want to see, as well if you're willing to stay up to like whatever it is 1, 2 in the morning to have a look.
Yep,
but I'm just excited. Yeah, see, when you're from Ireland, you just have to take whatever excitement you can from the World Cup because you don't expect to see your country in it too often. So it's nice to be able to watch it from a neutral perspective and not have to worry about who's going to win. So like I'll cheer for England if they score, but I'll also like to see whatever team has Liverpool players in it doing well, or just whoever plays well. I'm interested to see Belgium and then how Brazil do on their home turf, and I want Messi to quieten everyone and have a great World Cup so people can't argue about whether he's the best player in the world or not.
I'd like to see how Diego Costa
does for Spain.
Gets treated, in Brazil.
Oh yeah, and also runs for cover after every match. Yeah, because he could have been a huge difference, because I'm just going off FIFA now because I don't know I don't know the Brazilian team in real life, but like the type of strikers they have, Joe and Fred and those types. So if that's the type of striker they need to bring to the World Cup, they could have definitely done with Diego Costa. But also that solves kind of Spain's issue of never really having a striker that they're willing to play. So I don't really see how they could play with their 4-6-0 formation. When they've got someone like Costa that they can play, and also Negredo.
I'm going to say Negredo, because they're not exactly relying on Torres now. Cause, it's actually the best of players recently. So
Negredo has kind of fallen off though. He had a great start, and he was powerful, and he was scoring lots of goals, and now I think Zeko's been picked ahead of him in nearly every match, and then when Aguero's fit, it's Zeko and Aguero. So Negredo's not getting a look in at the moment.
I think that is football sorted. I'm sure we covered World Cup in a podcast near the time.
Yeah.
But now we're moving on to films and TV.
Ooh.
Which is mainly your topic, Steve. So what's out in the films recently?
I saw Pompeii.
I know you're going to say firstly. I was going to say The Raid first. The Raid 2. I know.
The Raid, yeah. Pompeii has just been on my mind.
I remember you saying about it the other night in clubs. I'll just let you explain to the podcast how it is.
Like I love films and I watch an awful lot of films and I've seen an awful lot of types, and there'd never really be a type of film that I don't enjoy. Like I'm going to avoid all this type of film and that type or whatever. I'll kind of watch anything, and so I usually manage to find something to take from each film. There's something enjoyable about it, but not Pompeii. Pompeii is just the worst film. It's certainly the worst film I've seen this year. It's probably the worst film I've seen in a very long time. Wasn't quite worthy of walking out on it, which is something, but it could have been, and it wasn't my choice to see. Me and my girlfriend have to kind of have a nice balancing act of, okay, I'll see this film, and if you'll go see this film. So I think we've traded Pompeii for the new X-Men film that's going to be coming out. But yeah, Pompeii wishes it was Gladiator, but it never will be. It's just the amount of stuff that it just directly robbed from Gladiator was appalling. Like from the Gladiator scenes were like nearly remakes almost of what happened in Gladiator, to just the general kind of story and bits they took from it, a kind of unrequited love with the kind of highborn lady, and then the evil, in Gladiator was Joaquin Phoenix as the Emperor, and then in this one you've got Kiefer Sutherland as a kind of noble Roman or whatever, but they're pretty much the same character. But just Gladiator just did everything better. So yeah, just
plus it was first as well.
It was first, and it was a long time ago as well. So if the thought kind of enters your mind like, hey, I might go see Pompeii, instead stay at home and watch Gladiator. It's a much better decision, and especially if you've got a projector or something, you can just pretend like you're at the cinema, but you can pretend that you're watching an Oscar-nominated film as opposed to Pompeii, because and it's not even that long a film. And then, I had a problem with the story and the plot and the acting and the dialogue, but also the volcano. I could say a lot of things, but this one was really funny about it.
Just from Coast of the Night, you just ranted.
Yeah, just went off. But yeah, I'll just mention this one thing specifically because there is a lot that I could say, but it would take too long and it would just turn into a film podcast. But it was just, so you've got the volcano, and the volcano starts to be an issue after about, maybe an hour or so, and it starts raining down, rocks of molten lava and all that kind of stuff and destroying the place. But they only seem to use it when they want to. Like when two characters need to talk or have a conversation, it's like they forgot about the volcano and it wasn't erupting anymore. So, it was like, oh, we only need it for dramatic purposes. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. It's like the volcano should just be going constantly. You can't just forget about it. There's a big scene where everyone's trying to race to the harbour to get on boats to leave the city, but then a big tidal wave comes from the other side and forces them all back. And all the time this was happening, there wasn't a single sign of a volcano. Like they just forgot about it, or maybe they didn't have the budget to have a big wave CG effect and also volcanoes at the same time. So I just thought it seemed ridiculous. Every time people needed to chat or, there's something dramatic going on, like a fight, there's like, oh, we'll forget about the volcano. And then every time they needed to run away from the volcano, that's when it was an issue. So yeah. That wasn't a little thing. That was a huge thing. So yeah. Pompeii. Don't go see it. Not even for Jon Snow. If you like Game of Thrones. I think that's the reason Aoife wanted to see it, because Kit Harington, he plays Jon Snow in Game of Thrones, and he's the lead in Pompeii, and he's very muscly, and he has this kind of nice curly black hair, and isn't he very handsome and all that kind of stuff. But he's not worth it. He's wasted here. So it might ruin your idea of him. Yeah. Instead, go see The Raid, the most amazing action film. Like, unbelievable. If anyone's never seen it, The Raid is the original The Raid is an Indonesian film made by a Welsh guy who was doing a documentary one time about this type of martial arts in Indonesia, and he kind of realized how cinematic it was, but it was never really, exposed to the Western world. So like we've all seen Kung Fu and we've seen, Jackie Chan and Jet Li's style of martial arts and stuff. But so he saw this one and he figured, oh, hey, wouldn't it be great to make a film and, but have a bigger release? I'm sure there's been Indonesian and Asian films made with this type of martial arts, but we never got to see them unless you went looking for them. So he made The Raid about a bunch of police who go into an apartment block, and basically this lead guy just fights his way up. It's kind of like a video game. It's like he just goes up to each level and he fights, ever increasingly tougher guys. But the action is just brutal. It's a type of martial arts where even in a film you actually punch each other, but you've got to try and rein in your punches so they're not as hard and stuff like that, but it still looks realistic. So the first one was great. It was really light on story. It was basically just, he's fighting a bunch of guys. And then the rest was kind of forgettable, but it was great nonetheless for that. And then the second one is just bigger. It's longer. It's about 2.5 hours long. It's got like a proper plot about crooked cops and, the dude from the first one that's back. It takes place like 2 or 3 hours after the first film, so it's a direct sequel. But you could still probably watch it as a standalone film. And it's just amazing. It's the most amazing combat and fight scenes. There's like, whole fight scene takes place in a car. So he's like, you've got the main dude in the middle of the car, and he's fighting like the 4 guys, the 2 in the front seat and the 2 beside him, and there's also a big car chase going on at the same time. It's got a big prison riot where they all fight in the mud and stuff like that, and it's just great. It's the biggest lad film ever. So leave all the girlfriends and stuff at home, and the wives and the kids, because it's 18s and it's well deserving of it. 'Cause some of the kills and the hits in it just make you wince, make you curl up inside yourself. But definitely recommended.
As someone who actually watched the first Raid film, I can definitely agree with what Steve said. The first film was so good. if you like action films, this is one for you because there's a lot of fight scenes that are just so well choreographed. It's unreal.
Yeah, there's so much stuff because I've been trying to read about it. I've actually wanted to watch it again since I watched it, but yeah.
I have to point out that the first way, this on Netflix for those who have it. So
yeah, that's one of the things I was about to say. It is subtitled, but seriously, don't let that put you off. Yeah, if you never watch film, like I know there's some people who just kind of refuse to watch subtitle films, but you get so used to it you don't even realize you're reading them after the moment. And a good film will do that as well. If it felt like you were reading the entire time and not watching it, then yeah, that would be off-putting. But there's not much to read when they're punching each other in the face and whatever else. The first one, I will say as well, the first one's very kind of hand to hand. There's not much in the way of weapons, bar a few knives. But the second one kind of amps it up like in every way. So there's a few shootouts, but it is still mainly about the hand to hand combat. Even when other people have guns, the dude is just so fast. His name is I don't know how to pronounce it. Something like Iko Uwais, Uwais.
You do a better job of pronouncing it than me. So.
Yeah, but yeah, so he might become a bit of a breakout. Expect to see him maybe in a few other films. If he's not the lead in a kind of Hollywood film, at least he'd be like a really big kind of martial arts guy within it. Hopefully, he will get typecast if that does happen. When you've got a skill like he does and you're so good at it, then they're going to have you use it a lot. But yeah, really worth your time seeing. So
if
yeah,
you go for pod with subtitles, then just watch the film just for the action scenes because they are really good. And as we keep saying, if you like action, definitely one for you.
Yeah, and you can watch both of them. Yeah, so first one on Netflix, and then second one's probably coming to the end of its cinema life, but that means you'll just be able to catch it on DVD, Blu-ray, streaming, get it legally, do whatever you do. To have a look at it, but yeah, and it's a Welsh director of all people. Kind of funny, I guess, how he'd end up in a situation where he'd be the one to show it off. But I think it definitely helped in the promotion because he was able to, use his contacts back in the UK and stuff, probably to help him get it made. So yeah, so those two are in the cinema at the moment. Yeah, I did mention X-Men. That's not out yet, but it will be out soon. So it's a kind of sequel, I guess, to the...
It's like in a week or two when it comes out.
Yeah, so it's X-Men Days of Future Past. So if you saw X-Men First Class, that had like James McAvoy as Professor Xavier and Michael Fassbender as Magneto. So this is the same, but then it's also bringing back Patrick Stewart as Professor Xavier and Ian McKellen. So there's some time traveling thing going on where the world of the future is there's these massive robots or something called Sentinels, which were originally created to kill off the X-Men or to try and round them up, but now they've kind of gone all Terminator and decided that they want to kill the world as well. So Hugh Jackman as Wolverine gets sent back in time to try and get Xavier and Magneto to work together, seeing as they're enemies or whichever. So yeah, so there's going to be a lot of X-Men in it, and they're going to bring back ones from other films, and there's going to be a lot of time skipping back and forth, into we got the present, then we've got them going back into the past, and then probably jumping into the future as well. So yeah, it looks like it should be a good X-Men film. Certainly the biggest of all of them. There has been a lot though, so yeah, people might feel a bit fatigued. You've had your Wolverine spin-offs and whatever else, but hopefully this gets them back on track because they are good characters. They just need a really good film to be in. And then, what else we have?
Any other films that are...
I'm going to see a film called Frank on Friday. Frank is...
What, Frank?
Yep, just Frank. Frank is Michael Fassbender in a giant papier-mâché head. The thing behind it is... So he's playing he's playing a character called Frank Sidebottom, who it almost comes across like a biography, but Frank Sidebottom is the creation of a comedian, so he's not a real character, and now they've made a film about him, but then the film isn't even quite about the character. It kind of uses his name and what he does, but it's quite different to what the comedian used to do with the character. But now there's apparently going to be another film which is definitely based on the character. So yes, 2 films about a not real person created by a real person, obviously. But yeah, I'm going to see that on Friday. But So I also want to see it because on Friday afterwards there's going to be a Q&A with the director. So the director is a guy called Lenny Abrahamson, and with my interest in films, I'm very curious to see what he has to say and what kind of questions he's going to be answering. So that should be fun because I've never really done anything like that. So
plus your hopeful future in films as well.
Exactly, yeah. So I might just have to fling like a manuscript at him or something, like, read that! Read it and employ me.
The Hillary Clinton thing that happened, instead of a shoe, it would be your paper. Just paper airplane, like some massive paper airplane. Just read it.
Yeah, I'll just write it down to him when he's at the top of like wherever I am sitting, down to him on the stage, and be like, here you go, just for you. But yeah, he directed a film called What Richard Did. I think that was his previous one. So it was a film about an incident that happened in Ireland where a young lad got killed outside a nightclub, and then there was a big court case afterwards because the lads who killed him were posh people from a certain part of Dublin, and they kind of got away with it because they were posh people with lots of money, and there was a big scandal for a while. And there was only recently as well, recent like 10, 15 years ago, but you know, wasn't ancient history. So yeah, so he did a film on that. So that's coming out. We've also got Godzilla. I'm very excited for Godzilla.
There's a lot of people looking forward to Godzilla.
Yeah, if you've seen any of the trailers for it, they've done a really good job of promoting this film, I think. So it looks huge. So the director did a film called Monsters a few years ago, which was about giant alien monsters who kind of attack the world, but they're not really the issue in the film. They're always kind of in the background. But it's about two people who are trying to escape from, I think, America into Mexico or something to get away from it. But he did the film on a really small budget as far as film goes. There's something like £500,000, and he directed the film. I think he was the guy who starred in it. He did all the visual effects for it. He edited it. So he did the jobs of basically a lot of people. You know, all those jobs would go to like different departments in a big budget film. But he did it all by himself on a tiny budget. So he's gone from £500,000 for this film to being a budget of, I think, $150 million for Godzilla. So a really big jump and a lot of money to trust him with. But it looks amazing, and I can't wait. And I've entered competitions to try and see the premiere in London. But I think because I haven't heard back yet, then I didn't win. Oh well.
You said that your other family members have had a good success in competitions.
Yeah, everyone's winning competitions except Steve.
Poor Steve.
Yeah, maybe I should enter a more worthwhile competition like the Euro.
Maybe you should have got your family members to take part instead of you.
Yeah, I should just go. Yeah, my sister wins everything in competitions. I don't know how she does it, but she does. I just hope she wins a house someday or something. That would be definitely worthwhile. Whatever about concert tickets and cinema tickets and you know, like gadgets like phones and stuff. It's like, yeah, win a house or even a car or something. That'd be good.
So yeah, actually worthwhile, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So that's films for the moment. TV, Game of Thrones is still ongoing. Really big episode that was on Monday, which kind of revealed a really important point, which goes all the way back to the first season. So it kind of, you get an insight into who's really in control of everything. So I won't say who it is for those of you who haven't seen or whichever, but you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so there's kind of, you know, you think you know who's in control, but you don't. Well, but now you do, I guess. Unless there's more surprises. Because kind of at this point in the series, it's really pulled away from the books, you know, so it's getting harder for me to predict what kind of direction they're going in. So even I'm quite in the dark about everything that's going on. So of course there's still a lot of things that are the same because it's based on the book. But yeah, there's quite a few differences creeping in now as well. So there's scenes that haven't been in the book at all and things that haven't ever even been mentioned in the books that we're seeing in the series now. So yeah, so things are hotting up. There's probably only a few episodes left, maybe 4, 5 if we're lucky, maybe it's 5. So that'll be halfway through the season then. So that's Game of Thrones. Hannibal. I think I'm the only person who's watching Hannibal, but it's not right because it's great. And that's only got a few episodes left. So maybe after Game of Thrones, if you're struggling for something to watch, then have a look at Hannibal. You'll have season 1 and season 2. It's really good. It's got really good actors. The guy who plays Hannibal is, I think he's Danish. He's a guy called Mads Mikkelsen. If you remember Casino Royale, the poker player with the scar, that's him. That was the first Bond film with Daniel Craig. So yeah, he's now Hannibal, and he does a really good job of it. and you've got what's his name, Morpheus from The Matrix. He's in there as well. He's
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne. He's Jack Crawford. He's like the head of the FBI or whatever in the Hannibal world. And then you've got a guy called Hugh Dancy. I think his last name Dancy. Oh my God, am I just making this up? Hugh Dancy. I'm right. His last name is Dancy, Mr. Dancy. He's married to Claire Danes, so good for him. But he's in it. He's actually the main guy, and he's very good. But you might remember him. I think he's in like a bunch of British rom-coms like Love Actually and stuff like that. But he's not anything like that in this. So yeah. So watch Hannibal. Hannibal's great. And yeah, they're the main two things I'm watching at the moment. Also, I'm nearly finished Modern Family, which is making me sad because it's probably the funniest program on TV at the moment. And I'm coming up to the end of season 5, so I've only got a few episodes left, and so I'll have fully caught up with all the Modern Family available. Oh well, I just have to watch them all again. All of them.
All of them. Every single one.
All of them.
Okay. All of them.
And then, yeah. And then It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. If you want something funny, watch that. It's not like Modern Family at all, but that's okay. But yeah, that program is amazing as well. And that's got about 9 seasons for you to get through. And they're all on, I think they're definitely on the British Netflix. I think they might not be on the American one. But obviously everyone will have the British one if they have Netflix. You've got to do other sneaky things to get the American one, but it's worth it. Oh wait, I forgot one, yeah, because Netflix, it's only on Netflix. House of Cards. House of Cards is great. I'm kind of late to it, so I caught up on all of season 1 in a really short space of time, about 3-4 weeks, and now I'm flying through season 2 as well. So that's Kevin Spacey as a devious politician, but I think the way the program makes out they're all devious. I don't think any politicians, according to this program, actually work for the public good. They pretty much all work to get themselves higher up the ladder. But yeah, it's got Kevin Spacey and other recognisable people. But he's the main guy, and he's in every episode, and he's very good. Even if you do you love to hate him, and you hate that you love him, that kind of way. But yeah, that's great. So if you've got Netflix, watch that as well. And because it's a Netflix original program, which means they finance it and stuff. So it's good to see that they actually are making good programs because it bodes well for the future.
They'll do more things. The New Black as well. That's
that's Women in Prison.
Yeah.
That's the extent of my knowledge. If anyone wants me to watch it so I can talk about it, I will. Don't worry.
There's a threads actually on AG because Carlos watches it and he's really into it. So
okay, I might have to have a look. I know it's got Donna from That 70s Show. So yeah, I know that.
Is that it then for films and TV, or anything
that
else
is,
you'd like to mention?
No, I could go on and on and on, but I won't. Don't worry. I'm sure I've already taken up about 15 minutes of everyone's time. But yeah, you're welcome.
And now we finish with the leftovers. Anything?
Leftovers. Games. Go have a look at some of the reviews that have been put up recently. Dan and I both reviewed The Hobbit. The Lego The Hobbit game, and we both gave it a very different result. So you can read both of our reviews. I did the Xbox 360 one, and Dan did the Xbox One review. And so you can read them both, and then you can tell Dan that his opinion's wrong, and that I'm right.
Yeah, there's a little disagreement between the two reviews, it seems.
Yeah. I gave mine 2 stars, he gave his 4 stars, so you can read our reasons as to why they both have the results or, the awards that they do. I also reviewed Titanfall, which was reviewed previously, but I got it for the 360. So any of you guys, so obviously all the people who are in the 360 leagues and stuff, you now have a chance to get your hands on Titanfall and see what people have been talking about or whichever. So so go have a look at that. It pretty much plays exactly the same as the other one. Graphical quality is less and the frame rate maybe doesn't keep up with all the action when there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's not game breaking or anything. And apart from that, you get access to everything else. So, and you have immediate access to the private lobbies, which all of us Xbox One people had to wait like 2 months to get.
No, but we've got them now, and there'll be a new Saturday, remember? So be there.
Yeah. Dan also reviewed Trials Fusion, so you can have a look at that. If you've played the other Trials games for the 360, you can get this one on the Xbox One. Did you read the review?
I didn't, no. I apologize.
Sorry to do this to you, Dan, but so Dan's been doing this really good bit where he makes videos of him, you know, kind of 10, 15-minute videos of him playing the game, and he includes them with the review. But this particular video, let's have a look, it's 11 minutes and 59 seconds, and I'd say about 7 minutes of that are Dan trying the one section over and over again. It was a very funny watch. He just couldn't get over one particular bit. Well, it was like the checkpoints were really far apart space-wise, so every time I thought when he cleared that section and that he wouldn't have to do it again, when he failed in the next bit, he'd go all the way back to the start of the level. And I was like, oh, that's awful. I was like, I don't know how he just kept on. Like, there's some great perseverance in the video. You know, if you ever feel yourself getting annoyed, just watch this video and watch Dan just be like an absolute hero and just power his way through this level. And then when he does it in like record time in his actual, in the one where he completes it. And I think he gets a gold medal as well. So after all the trials, you know, and tribulations, so he gets a very well deserved gold medal. So so if I ever get an Xbox One game to review, I'm only messing, but I will try and do the same thing. I don't know if my connection really stands up to the whole Twitch thing though, and it might be a bit laggy, so I don't know if I'd actually bother in the end. But so Dan's leading the way with this at the moment, so it's great to see. So keep watching them and keep reading all the reviews, people, because we write them for you guys, basically. So you guys are up to date.
Any games planned, Steve, for reviews?
No, I'm dry, game dry at the moment. But there will be a new member of the review team coming in, possibly 2, I think. But we've got 1 at the moment who you might see around the site. So that's just to kind of take the load off me and Dan, because, you know, at one point I had my run of 8 games to do in 2.5 weeks. So so he's going to help spread the reviews around. So there will be more. We'll keep them coming on a regular basis. The likes of Watch Dogs and stuff are coming out in like a month or 2 or next month, so we should probably get a copy of those to review. So so we'll have them up on the site. So keep an eye out. So check the homepage. It's got things that you can read. It's not just, you don't just have to jump straight to the forums, you know, whatever.
I think that is podcast 14 in this.
Woo!
You got anything left to say, Steaks? I think I'm pretty much empty.
Yep, that's okay. I'm gonna go make sure my nose doesn't explode again.
I think you should probably explain that, because people might be wondering what you want to know.
Yeah, I know. I had a nosebleed. I never get nosebleeds. I feel like a kid or something, you know. But we were going to do the podcast maybe a bit earlier. Not that it matters to you guys who are listening to it afterwards, but it's about nearly 6:10 in the evening here, so we wouldn't usually do it this late. But when Wayne messaged me earlier, I was like dripping blood into my hands. I was about to start a match. And everything was fine, and then something just kind of hit my covers. I was like, hey, what's that? And then I put my hand up to my nose, and I was like, hey, I'm bleeding. And then it just was dripping down. I was like, oh, I can't play this game right now. So I had to back out and then look after that. So now it's gone, you know. So, I think that just cemented the whole, dork thing. It's like, you play video games, you do a lot of this type of stuff, and you get nosebleeds. That's your life now. Congratulations.
Between watching films, working, and playing video games.
Exactly. Now I've got nosebleeds. So I honestly never. I don't think I've ever had a genuine nosebleed before. Maybe once in my entire life. So I think I've had a cold for the last while. So I've been all bleh. And then
I've never had a nosebleed. Never in my life.
Yeah, I had a nosebleed one time when I was a kid and I was stupid. And I was bouncing a basketball, and somehow I managed to not bounce it again with my hand, and it missed my hand and it hit me in the face. So that made me bleed, but that doesn't count. That's not like a proper nosebleed. That was basketball to the face bleed. So it was self-inflicted. So that's a memory I have that I thought I'd share with you.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Alright, so that is episode 14. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you soon for episode 15. Take care.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye-bye.